What's up, guys? So I changed my gamer tag to Ochoa Kelakels, so I'm not Casterhern X2 anymore, but my YouTube channel is still Casterhern X2. Anyways, I'm here to talk about Season of the Undying. So like, if you're just getting Season of the Undying for $10, it might not be worth it because all you get is the seasonal track, cosmetic items, the Leviathan's Breath, the Vex Offensive, and then the moon is from Shadowkeep, but the Vex are invading the moon, so you could kind of argue that that's Season of the Undying content. I purchased the whole season pass, so I have everything coming my way. You should have. I kind of feel like if you were gonna pick up something, you should have just picked up Shadowkeep because it came with Season of Undying anyways. A lot of people are saying that Season of Undying is underwhelming. I could see that argument. I'm mostly a PvP kind of guy, but I will grind the PvE just for like if it's something achievable. So the title for Undying was pretty achievable, so I grinded that out. It was just very grindy, very monotonous. I will say that the Vex Offensive, like the first couple times, is not bad, but then it's kind of like the menagerie. Like, oh, the first couple times you see the new boss or you see a new encounter, it's like interesting, but then eventually I can find myself dozing off in it. I don't know. PvE content, for the most part, is a snooze fest for me. That's why I'm mostly PvP. And we also have to temper our expectations because Season of the Undying is a thing that Bungie said that they're only gonna do like temporarily. So at the end of the season, it's gonna leave. So how much effort do you think they're actually gonna put into a thing that's gonna leave at the end of the season? So that's why when I saw a lot of people thinking that we were gonna jump through the portal, right? It's really you weren't listening to Akora, but also they don't do a great job of like explaining things because Akora did say that she was gonna pull the Vex mine to us, so we weren't ever gonna jump through it. And then they just slapped the portal on the portal in the Black Garden, so they're pulling it to us at the Black Garden. And I guess we're still trying to. That's why it's in the Vex Offensive. That's why it's a boss swap, because we're still trying to stop them from activating the plates to invade the moon. But the Vex Offensive is kind of lame because you're competing for kills. So like you're trying to get some machine gun kills, you're trying to get precision kills, and then sometimes because you're trying to get these kills, you're making some encounters last a little bit longer, and you run the risk of failing some encounters just because you want to get certain kills. But as far as like content, like I already pay for content that I'm not gonna play because I'm only like a PvP person. So like the raid and all that, I haven't even touched any D2 raids. In D1, the only time I raided was when they added those Triumph and the updated armor to the old raids, because I think before that I only did or attempted to do the Vault of Glass and maybe Crota once, and then and King's Fall, and then after that I never raided until after they added those Triumphs. And now in D2 I haven't even raided at all, so I'm paying for content that I'm not even playing. As far as like Shadowkeep and all that, like I still have a bunch of stuff I need to do on the moon. I have to do all those ghost fragments, but you know, I'm only playing PvP, and if I could grind out some things while I'm grinding out the Season of the Undying title, then I try to do two birds with one stone. But you know, I mostly paid for the pass because I want Bungie to focus on PvP, and they're kind of doing that. They're gonna give us new subclass updates with the Solar Titan, the Solar Warlock, and the Solar Hunter. And some might argue that's not PvP, but it's gonna change PvP in one way or another, so it kind of is PvP. I just wish that we didn't have a lot of special weapons. Like you could play a whole match and just use your special weapon, so that's the problem. Because if you bring back Trials, it's gonna be a lot of instant delete things. Like, I don't find a problem with Nova Warp, well, not Nova Warp, but handheld supernova or shoulder charge. Even if you do spec out your thing to where you get that over and over again, I don't see a problem with it. But what I do see a problem with is combining those one-shot abilities with instant delete weapons. So like mountaintop, fusion, high impact fusion rifles. You know, those things you could just play the whole match with and not have to swap out to your primary. And the best PvP fights are with your primaries. It's like, who can strafe, who's gonna miss their shot, you know? So like, if you bring back trials, it's just gonna be a lot of instant delete things, and it's not gonna be competitive. Honestly, competitive right now is not competitive. It's like, who can put on the cheesiest loadout, and they're gonna win. For trials, you would have to make it to where there's no class stacking, so there can only be like one Titan, one Hunter, one Warlock in the match, so that you're not going up against 3 1-9 mash, you're not going up against 3 Spectral Blades, you're not going up against 3, I don't even know, like, what would be the equivalent in the Warlock. I guess 3 handheld Supernovas. Yeah. But as far as this season goes, it's not bad. It's just, I don't think it's worth $10. That's why you should have gotten it with Shadowkeep if you were gonna get anything. But I feel like the game now, with the PvP how it is, like the different matchmaking and all that, is what it should have been like when it launched. So I'm happy that it's getting there to where I'm having fun, and I got to Legend this season. Alright, so it kind of makes quick play a little less infuriating, but you also get those moments where you're like still getting rubbed the wrong way, because you know, certain weapons or certain loadouts, like, you have to be 100% on it to be able to take them down. And then sometimes there's RNG, because a melee won't register, or a shot just disappears in thin air. Alright, what I would say is, like, if we could have somehow toned down special ammo, but not make it to where we have to bring back special ammo boxes, that would probably help out, because that we need, or loadouts, certain game modes with just loadouts, you know. So there's approved loadouts for certain game modes. So like in this one game mode, you can only have Thorn, or you know, X exotic hand cannon, or X exotic or legendary hand cannon with X special weapon, you know. So I got Recluse like last season. I played a couple games with it, and the first 2 games I played with it were fun, but then after that I started realizing how brain dead of a weapon it was, and I just put it away because the kills were just way too easy with it. And then I don't have a God Roll Aerontail, but I have a pretty good Wizen Rebuke, and I would go into Rumble, and I would go into back-to-back engagements, and I'd be rewarded for just straight lining people and charging up my fusion, because say something took 3 bursts to kill you, like a hand cannon or some pulse rifles. Right before they get the 3rd bullet off, I delete them, because they would never beat the charge time, and they would I guess they weren't aware, you know, they've never fought fusion rifles, so they're trying to like dual a fusion, and you can't. You're never gonna beat the charge time. I have mountaintop, but I really don't use it. I just don't like grenade launchers. I think I was grinding out, mountaintop. I was grinding out with like Fighting Lion or Truth Teller, you know. I'm kind of not like a fan of thing like that where you do big chunk damage and then swap out to another weapon, right? But I do think that if you do use like a bow to do the chunk damage, and then switch out to a hand cannon, that does take a little bit more skill than if you were using a grenade launcher because of the splash damage from grenade launchers. But I don't know what Destiny could do. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you had loadouts for specific game modes, right? Like, I understand people are like, oh, I grinded for this weapon, I should be able to use it anywhere. But, like, you know which guns are overpowered, and they shouldn't be allowed, but whatever. So that's all I gotta say. Peace.